What's up YouTube, my name is Birdman778 and welcome to another Devastator build video. Today, I'm showing off my awesome new grenade launcher bleed build. Now you might say, Bird, a grenade launcher in Outriders? Yes, I said that exactly. But if you want to find out more about these type of builds, make sure you're checking out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Birdman778. I'm more likely streaming right at this second. I usually start at 10 a.m. Eastern every single day. So stop on by, let's hang out. And it's Birdman778 on everything else, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter, especially Twitter. My bad memes are amazing. All right, let's get in the video. So if you've been watching my other YouTube videos, you'll know I actually already have a bleed build on here. Check that video out. I posted it back on the 7th. It's really awesome. Very good synergized build with Gravity Leap, Earthquake, and Tremor. Tremor being more of that passive healing skill. And we really don't have that on this build. On this build, it's more of a all-out offensive style bleed build. Now, I mentioned before, grenade launcher. You're like, what the hell are you saying, Bird? There's no grenade launchers in Outriders. Well, I was able to essentially create one. And that is with this Molten Idola. I probably said that wrong, but we're going to go with it anyway. The Idola is a rifle one-shot variant. It literally has one bullet in the mag. Its main tier 3 mod is Ravenous Locust. Shots create a swarm of locusts, dealing 258,000 damage over 10 seconds and inflicting weakness to enemies remaining within 6-meter radius of the target. It has an 8-second cooldown on it. Now, this is a really cool ability because whenever we shoot a certain enemy, it's going to cause that extra damage as well as inflict weak around our other enemies around that area. That's obviously great because that's less damage coming in on us. But the main mod that is awesome for this is that Scrap Grenade mod. Now, the Scrap Grenade mod actually comes from the Juggler. The Juggler is a assault rifle, and its main tier 3 is that Scrap Grenade mod. Essentially, it is a first shot after reload becomes an anomaly projectile, dealing 226,000 damage in a 5-meter radius. Essentially, just a grenade launcher shot. Well, with the Dola being a one-shot variant, essentially every single time it's going to shoot off that one grenade, and it's going to do a massive amount of damage. Now, it's going to do that 200,000 plus, but we've gotten it all the way up to 2 million damage. I think I've saw higher than that once before when I was shooting a captain, but if you just look through the different VODs and stuff that we got here, you'll more likely see it happen. But this is essentially a grenade launcher. This is awesome for Devastator because it essentially gives us a little bit of longevity while also just some blunt explosions to take out our enemies. Devastator really suffers from gun damage with not having anomaly rounds and stuff like that. So having something that is just a one-shot powerhouse shot is really cool. But this is the main weapon we are going to use in the build. Now, we have a passive kind of off using weapon, the Damascus Offering. It comes with a Claymore Torrent tier 3 mod. Shots damage 4 enemies within a 6-meter radius with anomaly blades, dealing 98,000 damage. This is really cool because obviously it's just going to drop that anomaly blade down on enemies, do a little bit more damage. And we also combo that with the Storm Whip mod. Shots bring down lightning on enemies, dealing 78,000 damage. This resets every 2 seconds. Now, we really want the ultimate Storm Whip mod. You might notice other people using it. It's probably the most popular mod out there right now because it is just an absolute powerhouse. It's great for every weapon. It just gives you a lot of extra damage on your shots. Going over to our armor, we are going to be trying to focus kind of in the same stuff we were doing with the other bleed build. We're going to go in the anomaly, skill, cooldown reduction, close range damage, stuff like that. On our helmet here, we have Blood Shock, inflicts bleed on enemies damaged by the skill, and Blood Crush, Gravity Leap, inflict bleed on enemies damaged by the skill. This is great because both these two main skills that are going to be our faster offensive abilities are going to constantly be inflicting bleed around the area, which is going to synergize with our skill tree, where we're going to be getting healing and also some more damage. I'm going to show you where we're going to get the more damage here in a second. The Seismic Commander Armor Chest Piece. We're using this one with the Palisade. It's a tier 3 Impale mod. The skill can strike 2 additional targets. Now, there's a tier 1 mod that does that. But it's awesome that we have another one of those because essentially if there's 4 weakened enemies and you activate Impale, all 4 of them are going to get hit by that. We also have the tier 3 mod Despair. This comes from the Marshall set. Gravity Leap. Enemies within this damage radius of Gravity Leap will receive a 1.5 times more anomaly damage for 5 seconds. This is amazing because our enemies are going to be taking a lot more damage, especially from that scrap grenade mod, because that scrap grenade is anomaly charge, so it's going to be doing a lot more damage. Next is Seismic Commander legs. On this one we have the Tainted Blood mod, increase the damage dealt to enemies afflicted by bleed by 25%, and then double jump. Gravity leap, you can use the skill twice before triggering the cooldown. Obviously great because then we can get up to ×3 of despair on an enemy and essentially melt them instantly. If you've watched any of the streams where I've been playing with Chadley99, we clear rooms almost too fast because of this ability, especially on commanders, brood mothers, anything. They don't last. I actually was able to finally finish Eye of the Storm with Chadley99 and Moxie. Check both of them out. Great homies who've actually really helped me collaborate with a lot of these builds. But we were able to silver Eye of the Storm using a Devastator. I don't think it's really happened all that much, especially getting such a good time. On our Seismic Commander gloves, we're using Earthquake. The Asunder Earthquake, using the skill permanently reduces the armor of afflicted enemies by 20%. And then Impaler. This skill can be activated one more time before triggering the cooldown. Asunder is really great because it's going to strip all that armor off of enemies permanently. This means they're going to be doing less physical damage to you. This is obviously great against like beast style enemies, or even any of like the melee human guys. What are their names? I don't know. Can't remember. Anyway, they can't do shit to you. And then finally on our boots, we're using Second Quake. You can activate the skill one more time before triggering cooldown, and Phantom Dash. Phantom Dash is really awesome because it essentially lets you phase through enemies instead of using your normal roll. Great for those times where you're getting just like absolutely smushed by a bunch of beast enemies. If you got a bunch of melee enemies running at you, anytime you are just surrounded, you're able to phase out of that, get better positioning, and attack. Skill-wise, I mentioned again, this is more a true offensive tree here. Before on the other bleed build we were using Tremor. Tremor was essentially giving us that AoE healing around us when we were around enemies, while this one we're using Earthquake for constant bleed activation and damage, Impale for that more finisher, high damage attack, and then Gravity Leap to inflict that despair and also get some solid healing or just get move around the map. For our skill tree, we are kind of going around the same route that we did before, except we're going to change up a few spots from the last video. Instead of going into those bleed durations, we're going to repurpose those into some different areas. Now, let me first get through some other ones. Obviously, anomaly reservoirs, we're going to be using all 5 of those. So we get that 30% extra anomaly power. Obviously great because that'll help that anomaly charge, our abilities, even our melee. Next, we're going to be going to both these endless tremors here and here. Reduce seismic skills by 15%. It's going to go up to 30%. That means we're going to be constantly making sure we're getting that impale and earthquake as fast as humanly possible. We're going to be getting both our pure anomalies here and here. Increase your resistance piercing by 15%. Going to be really, really good for that scrap grenade mod because essentially it's just going to do a teens amount of damage to an enemy without having to worry about different resistances from anomaly. We're going to use Executioner as well. Increase damage by 20% against enemies below 30% of health. This is going to be really good, especially when enemies are getting to that spot. We essentially know if we hit them with one more of those scrap grenades or even pull out our Damascus, they are going to die. We're going to be going to both of these bloodbaths. Bleed afflicted on enemies deals 30% more damage. This is obviously really great because it's going to synergize well with those other abilities we have, but just knowing that enemies that are inflicted with bleed are taking more damage is always good for us. That bloodbath is going to really synergize with this one. Blood donation, you're healed for 25% of your bleed damage. Now, I almost feel like this perk is almost like a crutch at this point for Devastator. Kind of like how the other classes are crutched on pay to win anomaly rounds. But this is a really great skill because it's going to make sure our healing is constantly stayed up, especially whether our armor resistances are kind of low at that moment, we are going to have that healing. Skilled Sentry is a really great one. Increase armor by 20% and resistances by 20% for 10 seconds when your skill ends. This is great because one, it stacks, but also the fact that we're constantly just going through this rotation of using Gravity Leap, Earthquake, Gravity Leap, Earthquake, Impale, Impale. Whenever we do that, we're going to get that boost and be able to really be tanky. There's been times where I haven't really been putting out a whole lot of damage, but I'm able to stay alive so long, and I really associate it to this skill. I'm also going to say Protected by the Anomaly is a super great skill. Increase your armor by 40% of your anomaly power. Right now, we're up in 136,000 anomaly power for this build, so we're going to get a big boost to our armor because of that as well. Anomaly bullets increase firepower by 15% of your anomaly power. This is obviously great because it's going to up our weapon damage. That being part of that, our grenade launcher and also our Damascus are going to be doing a lot more damage because of that. Stone Circle, extend the distance considered to be close range by 4 meters because that's going to really synergize well with this one. Through the mob, increase your armor by 7% of each enemy in close range. Whenever we are in the thick of it, we are going to have high armor, but also just because Devastator as is, its main kind of healing ability is enemies that die within close range will heal you. Well, if we're able to increase that distance even more, that just means that there's a bigger radius for us to get healed from. And then finally, Earth's Heritage, increase seismic skills base damage by 50%. I actually wonder if this is bugged or not. I'm gonna have to do some further testing to see what the damage is, because there's been times where I'm just like, man, is this actually doing any more damage? But just knowing that the possibility of us getting 50% more on Earthquake and Impale is good to me. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by this video and checking out this awesome CT15 gold soloing build. That was a mouthful. That was disgusting. We hate that. But we love this build because it is super efficient. It's able to do all the content in the game, and you are able to absolutely decimate your enemies. Like our build before that we posted on the 7th that you should definitely check out. This one, again, is a more offensive build, and we're able to go a lot more ham. Make sure you're stopping by, though, my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/birdman778. Again, I stream every single day starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, again, you could be watching this right now and look over your clock and you're like, whoa, it's 10 o'clock. Whoa, Bird's live. Go over there. Check it out. Hang out. Let's have a good time together. Again, I'm Birdman at Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Guys, thank you so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day or night or whatever it may be.